When a giant anaconda shows up at a construction site, the workers can quickly determine that something is wrong with it. It is moving extremely slowly and has a giant unnatural bulge on its body. When a veterinarian cut the animal open revealing what was causing the bulge, nobody could believe it. When the workers called the vet back, he decided he would immediately come their way. This snake needed to be cut open cause there was obviously something in its stomach that shouldn't be there. It might even be a life or death situation. When the vet finally arrived, he quickly sedated the now almost lifeless giant anaconda. It wasn't the first time he did a procedure like this, but he was still nervous. This wasn't his trusty clinic, but the middle of the jungle. Anything could happen here. When the veterinarian carefully cut open the enormous bulge on the snake, the contents immediately revealed itself, and everybody's jaw dropped to the floor. How was this possible? But was the vet in time to save the snake? What did they find inside the snake, and why was the vet so incredibly surprised by it? Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For a couple of months now, construction on a new road in the Amazon has been ongoing. Workers have been working hard to make sure this new road was finished as soon as possible, but that has not been easy. It has been a slow and difficult process so far as getting materials to the site has been a challenge due to the lack of available trucks, and the constant dangers of the rainforest have also slowed the process down. Workers are way behind on schedule. They started to worry because their employer is threatening to take action if they don't finish the job on time. The employer was even threatening to fire the workers. Therefore, the workers knew they had to take action. They could not afford to be slowed down anymore. Their boss gave them an ultimatum until the end of the month, or they would get fired. So they decided to work even harder than they did before. But they did not know that they were about to face another big obstacle. When the workers are clearing out the path where the pavement is going to be laid, one of them suddenly jumps back. He had seen something come out of the vegetation that scared him a lot. It was an anaconda, but not just any anaconda. The biggest they had ever seen. It slowly made its way across the end of the clearing they had just made. The workers were hoping it would pass by quickly so they could continue, but it seemed like the snake decided it was going to settle here. The workers were scared and surprised at the same time. What should they do? They'd already noticed that the animal was moving somewhat slow. But why was the snake moving so slow? Then one of the workers suddenly saw what might be causing this problem for the snake. When the giant anaconda was about halfway out the bushes, a giant bulge could be seen on his body. The workers could barely believe their eyes. They had never seen anything like this before. Action had to be taken. With the snake now firmly on the spot they need to work, the workers know that they have to do something. But while they knew they had to do something, they were also really scared at the same time. Then one of the workers approached the snake. "No!" yelled the other workers. They warned their co-worker that the snake might act aggressively in this condition as he is trying to defend himself if he feels threatened. So the workers came up with another solution. They decide that they will have to call somebody and try to get a hold of the nearest animal veterinarian. When the call with the vet ended, the worker that called him reacted in full shock. The vet says that the snake might be pregnant and is about to lay her eggs here, in the middle of the road where they were reconstructing the road. To make sure this is the case, the vet has a dangerous task for the workers. She tasks the workers with trying to figure out where the bulge is located on the body. Then two other brave workers decide that they will pull on the tail of the snake to try and stretch the snake. Luck was on their side while doing this. The two men try to gear themselves out with some of the toughest material they can find, while another worker joins them to distract the snake if necessary. With lead in their shoes, the two men grab the tail of the snake. All workers are holding their breath, hoping that everything goes according to plan. If the bulge was due to eggs, it would be located way further back on the body. The bulge is located at about the start of the stomach, meaning it is something that is probably unable to enter the snake's body. But what could there be inside this snake? The snake has obviously swallowed something it shouldn't have and probably required immediate surgery if it was to survive. There was no time to lose. But the workers didn't know what to do. So they asked the vet what they should do. Does she come over to them? Or should they bring the snake to her? They hoped it was the first option. At the working site, the workers were also struggling with the time they had to wait for the doctor. Their fear became the truth. The snake had no intention of staying at his current place. It waited a long enough time and was trying to be on the move again. The workers did not know what to do next. The snake was still moving very slowly, so the workers were able to block its paths back into the depths of the jungle with plates of sheet metal they had brought with them as supplies. But this measure had a big con. They could not encapsulate the snake fully, so they had to keep moving to keep blocking the snake's path. The animal was obviously getting irritated by this, and the workers had to be careful. The workers started to worry. Is this the right thing to do? When the vet finally arrived at the site, the snake was still laying at the same place as where the workers kept him. But it became more and more obvious that this would not be the case for very long, as the snake had gotten really aggressive at this point. The snake did not even want to remove the sheet metal that the workers put there to hold the snake in place, but instantly targeted the workers that were holding the sheet metal. Many of the workers already had some close calls, but the fear for the snake increased to an all-time high now. Some workers dropped the metal and ran back. The vet had to act quickly and knew that the only chance here was if she could quickly sedate the snake. But sedating the snake was not without certain risks. The vet waited for the snake to have his head turned in the other direction. After that, she slowly approached the snake and swiftly injected the sedative into the snake's lower body. Now they had to wait until the snake was fully sedated. After a while, the snake was completely out. Some workers dropped their knees from exhaustion and their heart rate finally dropped back to normal a bit. They'd faced possible death numerous times by now, so they were relieved that they survived. Now the vet could finally turn her attention to the big bulge on the snake that she actually came for. She takes her surgery kit out of the big Jeep from the company's warehouse and sets it up to get to work. She can quickly confirm her suspicions that the object is stuck at the entrance to the snake's stomach by feeling its body. The object stuck in its body was something that the snake had swallowed and could not be broken down by the digestive system. The vet could only do one thing. At this point, there is nothing else to do but to carefully cut open the snake and get the object out of it. But surgery always comes with a risk, especially if this surgery has to be done in the middle of the rainforest. But there is no other option available. With the greatest precision and care, the vet cuts open the snake along with the bulge, and after getting through the skin, muscle, and esophagus, the source of the bulge is finally revealed to everybody. But it is not what they expected it to be. Out of the snake came a small plastic box that baffled the vet at first, but the workers immediately knew what it was and realized what happened. But the workers also realized that this was not good news to the snake. This box was their cool box, in which they kept most of their perishables like meat. However, the meat in this one had gone bad, so they left it out of the truck because it smelled really bad. But they still couldn't figure out how the snake found this cool box, as they thought they'd put it away safely. The snake must have picked up the scent and thought it was prey, so it swallowed it as a whole. But it sadly quickly learned the consequences of an error that might be fatal to the snake. With the cool box removed, the vet quickly starts stitching up the snake again. While she does this, she also chips the snake to track its movement and see if it survives in the ordeal in the long run. Then they wake up the snake, hoping it will not be aggressive anymore. It takes about a few minutes for the snake to wake up. It is still dazed and confused at first. But after a while, it starts crawling away a lot faster than it was before the surgery. After the snake was gone again in the forest, the vet had one thing left that she needed to do. She thanked the workers for their incredible effort to keep the snake and themselves safe. After this, she went back to the city where she has more patients waiting for her. To make sure the snake was okay, the vet did one last thing. She monitored the snake's behavior via the chip she planted. The snake is behaving completely normal, and the vet can confidently say that the operation has been a success. She saved the animal's life.